All grown-ups were once children, but only few of them remember it. Antoine de Saint-Exupéry. There are stories we read as children that we never truly understand until life breaks us open. The Little Prince is not just a tale about a boy from another planet. It's an emotional map, a symbolic journey through identity, relationships, ego, and meaning. This isn't a bedtime story. It's a therapy disguised as a poetry. In this episode of Introstellars, we travel across the chapter, the constellation of the psyche, inspired by the immersive exhibition, The Journey of Stars, which I recently visited in Singapore. Each scene, each quote, each encounter is not fiction. It's us. It's you. It's the mirror we forgot to look into. At the beginning of the exhibition, there is a boy appearing in the desert asking for sheep. And it's not just a surrealism, it's your inner child knocking. In psychology, this is the return of the true self, lost under layers of performance, career, adulthood. When everything dries up and you are parched with disillusionment, that voice quietly say, "Draw me a sheep." Not give me a solution, but be present with me. The asteroid B612 is small, so small a single baobab could destroy it. And yet, it is the most important place in the universe. Why? Because it's your space of meaning. We all have a B612, a mental space where memories, symbols, attachment live. Childhood, a first love, a journal nobody read, and when we disconnect from that place, we begin to float aimlessly, like astronauts without tethers. She is beautiful, she is delicate, she knows it, she asks for attention, then pushes it away. The rose is the more than a flower. She is the narcissistic attachment, the one we love because it hurts. I ought to have judged her by deeds and not by words. The little prince leaves her behind, but never forgets, just like we carry every complicated love story with us, unfinished, business with no closure. The king who needs subjects, the vain man who craves applause, the drunkard who drinks to forget is ashamed, the businessman counting stars, not knowing why. These aren't just characters, they are inner archetypes, defense mechanisms, role we play when we forget who we really are. The journey across planets is a journey through the shadow of modern identity. When did we trade meaning for metrics? Presence for productivity? Enter the fox, a creature who teaches one of the most important psychological lessons. You become responsible forever for what you have tamed. This chapter is about vulnerability and commitment. True relationships require time, slowness, patience. Taming is emotional resonance. It's the opposite of hookup culture, fast dopamine or filtered connections. When the prince tames the fox, he learns what most adults forget. Love is a ritual, not a rush. And here, finally, the truth lands gently. It is only with the heart that one can see rightly. What is essential is invisible to the eye. This is the final step of the emotional journey when Prince returns to B612, not to escape, but to integrate. He says goodbye to the pilot and realizes that what matters most is not data, not validation, not status, but the quiet, invisible presence of love. The rose was flawed, the journey was confusing, but in the end, the essence, the soul behind things, is all that remains. The Little Prince is an allegory for individuation. You are the prince, you are the pilot, you are the fox, you are the rose, and your journey is not upward to the stars, but inward to the heart. We often talk about the prince, but what about the pilot? He crash lands in desert, the classic Jungian desert of the soul, where everything external fails and we meet the inner void. He has stopped drawing, stopped dreaming, stopped believing. He's becoming a responsible adult, admired by society but numb inside. The little prince doesn't just need the pilot needs the little prince. He reminds him of what he abandoned: imagination, curiosity, and trust. Grown up never understand anything by themselves. This relationship is a psychological bridge between reason and wonder, control and surrender. It's the reconnection of logic and emotion, left brain and right brain, survival and meaning. And when your sorrow is comforted, time soothes all sorrows, you will be content that you have known me, you will look up at the star and laugh. This is grief psychology at its most poetic. The stars in the final chapters become symbols of presence after loss. They represent those we have loved and lost. But not really lost, because now, every time we look up, they are there. Not as ghost, but as light, as memory, as part of our story. Reach the star within by seeing with the heart what the eyes often miss.